Ooh, baby. Listen to that. You hear that? That's the sound of my voice. And that's the sound of my voice on my new blue snowball microphone. And oh man, does it sound good. I cannot believe how much my audio quality has jumped by just purchasing a USB microphone. I mean, granted, the reviews online said this microphone is professional quality coming out of a USB mic, but man, has it just changed significantly. I can't get over it. Anyways, I hope, you're welcome. Everyone who's listening to this, you're welcome. My voice sounds like sweet liquid caramel, and it is doing you a service. So, yeah, no need to thank me, alright? And also, no need to thank me for continuing to cast this series of Red Bull Battlegrounds watched in 2014, and this match is between Dongraegu, who's spawning at the top left-hand corner as the blue Zerg, against the red Protoss, spawning at the bottom right-hand corner. So, sOs has lost against Trap in his in these open matches, and he's going to be going against Dongraegu now, who lost against Bomber. So, if sOs is victorious out of this series, he's going to go again to face Trap for this bracket. But let's see how he fares against Dongraegu. Dongraegu is not a joke. He is the OG, original Zerg player. He, at one point, was one of the highest grossing Zerg players in Wings of Liberty. As of now, I mean, lately I heard that Dongraegu right now does not have a team. He's going to be putting in here with a drone, trying to block the expansion of his Protoss opponent as much as possible while getting his hatchery up at his natural very, very fast. Typical move for a Zerg player. Coming down with a 14 pool for the Zerg player, which is fairly late. He's going for a macro build, but coming back to what I was saying about Dongraegu, he's not currently signed with any team right now. He's just solo playing. So anything that he does at this point is just him being a boss of a Zerg player and just doing what he wants to do. So it's pretty cool. And I'm just gonna plug for Dongraegu for anyone who's watching this. Yeah, all you famous people who are watching this cast of Red Bull Battlegrounds, listen up. Dongraegu, he's open. Not that you don't know. He's open. He's ready to be signed. So, sign him to your team because he's a good player. Well, we'll see if he wins the series. But don't judge him by this, because you know what? He has his ups and downs. Whatever. Just talk to him. Talk to him. When you don't talk to me, talk to him. Anyways, let's get back to the game. What am I doing? I'm digressing. So, the Zerg player Dongraegu is going for his fast third expansion at the 4-minute mark. So he's going to be going for a macro build. Protoss is going to be going for a Forge Fast Expand. He has scouted the base of his Zerg opponent, so he does see that it was a late pull. He has not gotten speed, but I just think that the gasless build that sOs was able to scout, he just knows that he's going to be in a good position for a good while in this game. He's not really pressured by any type of early aggression, which is why he has his Cybernetics core down. He hasn't gotten Forge Fast Expand. He just knows that with the distance on this map and at the timings of the building placements of the spawning pool and everything else, because he did scout the he did scout the third. He just knows that he's good for a while. So he's going to be focusing on his own macro off the 2 base. If we look at the Protoss player, he's going to be going for an early Stargate. Where's the Stargate? He actually puts it in the front, which is a pretty ballsy move. He blocks off the ramp with the Zealot, leaving just enough space for his own units to come out. And sorry, let's look at the supply of both players. Dongraegu still macroing, is still about the same supply as sOs. If we look at the probe count and the drone count, actually the Protoss player is up when it comes to probes, which is kind of unusual. But that's the thing is, that's gonna quickly change with Zerg. Zerg can just macro up, especially with these larva injects. He's got queens at every single expansion. He's just gonna be droning up like crazy, and then all at once, if you're not familiar with how Zergs play, all at once they get all their larvae into one type of unit, so they'll just make a shit ton of drones, and then be done with that, and eventually after that just start creating an army. It's just all at once. So like they are a reactionary race. So if anything happens, they're not gonna build units before an army attacks from the Protoss. They're gonna build units when they see what the unit composition of the Protoss is, so that they can build the right units all at once at the exact same time. So if we look at what's coming out of sOs right now, he's getting his +1 attack armor, plus attack for his ground army, and also he's got a Oracle poking around onto the expansions of Dongraegu. He's not going to be able to get into the mineral line of Dongraegu very easily because it was scouted by the overlords who saw it. And also, he did put it out in the open, which is like right here. The overlord spotted that way before. It was probably scouted right when he put it down. So he gets pokes in here. He's trying to just get as much scouting, not lose this oracle, but just, you know, make it as useful as possible. If we look at the build of sOs, he has gotten his third down. So both players just going for an extremely heavy macro game. If we look, the Zerg player is on 2 gases only on his natural expansion. He tried to hide that, but it has been scouted. Going for 2 more gases at his third, but still hasn't gone for gas here at his main. 2 Evo chambers coming down for Dongraegu, so he's going to be trying to hit some type of some kind of 3-base upgrade timing with his army composition. We'll see what's coming out. 10 Lings coming out from Dongraegu right now. Ling speed almost finishing. +1/+1 for melee, and Carapace is coming out for Dongraegu. And we'll just see how this goes. Let's see what more sOs decides to make out of this Stargate. He hasn't made a Phoenix yet. I guess he's just trying to fool his the Zerg player into thinking that he has. This Overlord's still just poking at sOs's base. He needs to take care of that, and he has with a bunch of sentries. So he's gonna be going defensive right now as he macros up. He doesn't actually have an army. He's getting gateways out right now. He's getting his third base nice and saturated at the moment, and these Zerglings gonna be coming in. They're not going to be able to do too much damage, but there's really nothing at this third expansion to really protect. He's got 1 cannon and a mothership core, so I guess he can't throw down a photon arbitrage. He does. These Zerglings going to try and get into the base of sOs, but he's going to be able to force field some of these Zerglings in. He's going to be able to kill as many as he can. He splits it in half. His mothership core trying to whittle him down too, poking him, shooting him down with this little pea shooter of a cannon that he has. But for the most part, I think that was in favor of sOs. He was able to split that Zerg Ling army in half and you know, kill as much of it as possible. Not too much damage against Dongraegu, who is also getting his 4th expansion up and running. But to be honest, Dongraegu needs to start going for some kind of aggression against his Protoss opponent. He can't just let the Protoss macro, because if you notice the play from both players, they've been very passive, and the thing is, sOs has not put any aggression onto Dongraegu, which is weird, because if you usually let your Zerg opponent just macro without being, you know, any contest, he's gonna be able to macro up a really scary army much faster than you as a Protoss player. But it doesn't seem like sOs is worried, because if you look at the food supply right now, it's 129 to 104. But these Lings trying to get into the natural of sOs, not going to be able to do it. Warping in a Zealot just in time. Dongraegu knows he's not going to be able to break that wall just with Lings, so he's going to be able to pull back. Just trying to put a little bit of pressure onto his Protoss opponent, who's still poking around with this Oracle, who still has not died. So that's pretty impressive. +2 attack coming out of the Protoss opponent. 5 more gateways coming out. So we're going to be seeing a push coming out fairly soon. Extended thermal lance coming out for the Protoss opponent. And we're going to be seeing some Colossus coming out fairly shortly. I wonder how many Colossus he has right now. He has precisely 0 Colossus. So he's going to be getting those out. And I think as soon as the Colossus do come out, he's going to be deciding to push out. So these Roaches have finally come out of Dongraegu. Going to be pushing up the ramp on this side, trying to break these rocks, so he has 2 points of attack on this natural, which has one side of its one entrance completely blocked off with buildings, so that's pretty safe. These Roaches are going to be pulling back because there is a drop in the main with the warp prism. Zealots being warped in, trying to go for these buildings. Is able to get some of these workers. He's warping in more Zealots, so he's really committing to this. They have a really good position with these Zealots too. He's going to be picking up these Zealots as these Roaches do come back. Swarm hosts are out for Dongraegu at this point. So at this point, sOs really has to get splash damage, because as soon as Swarm hosts come out for your Zerg opponent, you need something to take care of all those locusts. But if you look at this fourth Dongraegu, it is under attack by sOs. sOs using phenomenal force fields, being able to hold back these Roaches, who are just walking back and forth, not really being able to do much. These Stalkers just have base free reign back into the main. sOs is going for a double-pronged attack, attacking the main of Dongraegu too. Not being able to do too much damage, just trying to distract his Zerg opponent. He finally takes out the 4th, and he's able to recall back to his base, completely safe and not losing very much at all. Dongraegu is almost max 174 supply compared to 145 of sOs, but sOs shouldn't be too worried. He's got Colossus coming out right now. He's still harassing the main with these Zealots. These roaches coming in here trying to clean that up, but hey, this War Prism's still alive. He's going to be able to keep flying in here. These Zealots working at the rocks over here as well. These these observers all around the map, giving sOs a lot of vision of his Zerg opponent, being able to contain his Zerg opponent because he does have vision of the map. He's able to have a lot of map control as he's comfortable enough to take this 4th expansion. sOs is in a pretty good spot. These locusts are going to be tough to deal with if he doesn't get more splash damage into this army composition. He's got 2 Colossus out right now, but he needs to get Archons into the mix. He's going with his War Prism back into the main. Sees that they're already units there positioned. Dongraegu, being smart, already positioning some locusts here to deal with any type of harassment coming out of sOs. sOs pushing into the natural of Dongraegu right now. Dongraegu only having locusts and roaches to deal with this aggression. These stalkers all have blink. He's got +2 attack. He's got force fields to hold back the locusts. These locusts, you can't control them. They're just AIs, and they really have no way of getting in there. Mothership Core gets pulled by the Vipers. Colossus gets pulled. Mothership goes down. Is this Colossus gonna go down? It's got one more hit. Oh, and he's able to save it by blinking his stalkers back defensively and back into the main of Dongraegu. These Zealots trying to do as much damage as possible. Dongraegu's not even microing his drones out of the way. He's just not concerned about this at all. Gonna be able to push back the War Prism again if we still did not die. I don't think the War Prism died. Where is the War Prism? It's not anywhere around. So if we look at the army composition, oh, why did he do that? sOs, why'd you shoot your own units, man? Was that a misclick, or are you just trying to free up supply? It might be both. Yeah, he has supply though. Doesn't need to do that. Storm coming out from sOs. Got Templar into the mix of his army. Get a Archon in the mix too. So he's got an Archon, he's got Templar, he's got Zealots. He's got the splash to deal with these locusts. And if we're looking, the locusts have the upgrade now, so they are going to be able to go across the map, and they get pretty far. If he gets this, if the thing is, Dongraegu's creep highway isn't as far as he'd like it to be. If it was further, he'd be able to get these locusts much further across the map, probably even to the natural of or the 4th. Sorry, the 4th of sOs. sOs getting a scary death ball composition now. This is a very bad spot to be in as a Zerg opponent. Or a Zerg player, sorry, against a Protoss player, which is why I was saying earlier that it's important for Dongraegu to lay on some aggression against sOs. He just kind of let the Protoss player macro. I mean, he laid a little bit of pressure on, but it really wasn't much. sOs has moved a bunch of Zealots into the main, into the natural of Dongraegu, able to do some harassments. Look at workers killed. sOs has killed 24 workers from Dongraegu so far, so that's a pretty good position to be in. He's going to be moving into the natural expansion of Dongraegu right, not natural, the 5th expansion of Dongraegu, trying to do as much damage as possible, but these stalkers not having blink and getting stuck in the force fields, sOs's own force field, is going to be losing a couple stalkers in that. Not too bad for sOs, but still, you don't want to be losing too many units carelessly like that, especially in a pro match like this. But he's going to be warping Zealots with this War Prism, who's still alive, into the main of Dongraegu, taking out one queen, going to be able to take out the other, while his army is going to be sweeping up the right side, going to be trying to harass this 4th base, kill as many drones as possible, and possibly taking it out. Dongraegu falling apart here. His Hydras are going to be coming here, taking out that War Prism. They need to clean up these Zealots, because how many workers has he killed? He's up to 40 workers killed right now. That is a very bad number of that's a huge disparity, considering the fact that Dongraegu has killed 0, and I mean absolutely 0 workers of sOs, which that's just not good. I mean, I think that's a pretty big disparity. I mean, Dongraegu, you can just tell at this point, is falling apart. I know I was saying that he's a great player. He still is. He's a great player. Come on, guys. You gotta give him that. But he's just falling apart at this point to sOs's multi-pronged attacks. He just can't be everywhere all at once. sOs is sending Zealots to every single expansion of Dongraegu at this point. And Dongraegu, who did opt to go for Swarm Host, does not have the units to just. I mean, he's got the zoning capability, but he doesn't have the units to just split and defend all these locations all at once. I mean, that's one drawback of having a Swarm Host, is that you can't control where the locusts go. You can set the rally point, but the thing is that's just the direction they go, and then that's all it is. That's all it is for locusts. Look at these locusts chasing after this Protoss army. They're like, come here, I'm gonna get you. But if we look at the supply of sOs, it's 185. look at the army supply, it just seems like Dongraegu has more. But the thing is, if you look at what Dongraegu has, he just doesn't have much that's good against his army composition. I mean, he's got Locust that's going to be adding extra DPS at no cost to him, but he's got these Hydras with such low health getting absolutely shredded by these Templar. I mean, like, look at these vicious storms that are landing completely on the Zerg army, and just look at his army supply just dwindle. I mean, he's trying to he's trying to, you know, get as many, what is he getting out right now? What is he getting out? He's getting as many Hydras and Roaches out at this point to try and deal with this Protoss army, but he just does not have enough. And as I'm saying this, and as this attack at this 5th base was successful, more Zealots are being warped in to try and distract his Zerg opponent even further. sOs just in a very good spot. His main is mined out at this point. His natural getting mined out too. He's getting up his 5th expansion at this as well, and having a 5th expansion over your Zerg opponent who is maxed out is very good position to be in. I mean, look at how many resources sOs has right now, and look at his income tab too. He's got almost double the income of his Zerg opponent, and that's just a really good spot to be in as a Zerg. I mean, as a Protoss, that's fantastic. I mean, if anybody wanted to be in a position as a Protoss player against a Zerg, they would just opt for this all the time. And if you want to get into this position, just do exactly what sOs is doing against Dongraegu. Be as aggressive as possible, in as many locations as possible, and you will do a great amount of damage. I mean, look at these storms landing on these Roaches right now as he goes for the 4th expansion, trying to take that out. So taking out one of the last mining bases of Dongraegu. Dongraegu trying to position his army in a good location, trying to avoid these storms, but by avoiding these storms, he's giving the Protoss opponent way too much time to take out this expansion. The expansion goes down. Viper's being able to pull 2 Colossus, 1 Colossus going down. This army of the Zerg is going down very fast. Corruptors coming out, but just look at all these Locusts being shredded. These Vipers trying to get a good pull, not going to be able to get close enough without losing these Vipers. These Stalkers up in the front, these Colossus in the back. He's gonna need an observer though to be able to see this army. I mean, where's the observer right now? He just does not have an observer to see the Swarmos. He's dropping storms on top of the Swarmos because he knows where they are, but he just does not have an observer in the location to deal with this right now. These drones, long distance mining for Dongraegu. If we look at the income, he's getting starved. I think this is close to being game for Dongraegu against sOs. sOs just in a very good position. He's got his 5th base up and running. Main completely mined out. He's going to be pulling back, trying not to be too aggressive because he did lose those Colossus. I'm sorry, they must have gotten pulled over here because he did lose those Colossus. Bad to lose those Colossus. Definitely very expensive units to lose. But he's going to be pulling back. Still has a decent Stalker count. And look, here's the observer coming now. Dongraegu, knowing he's in a bad position, he's still at 163 supply. If you look at the army tab, he is up in army supply, so it would be a good idea for him to try and put a little bit of aggression on his Protoss opponent while trying to get this expansion up and running. But the Protoss player not going to give Dongraegu some breathing room. Nope, not going to let it happen. He's going to be pushing in here with the Stalker, trying to do as much harassment, put as much pressure onto the Zerg opponent to not let him macro up, so that he's not able to get those bases up and running. These Locusts coming in here trying to deal with these Stalkers. These other Stalkers coming into the base with this Observer, going to be able to take out a lot of Swarm Hosts. This is a very bad position for Dongraegu to be in. He cannot lose these Swarm Hosts. He's already in a bad position, very down in this game against sOs. sOs going to be, just using Blink Stalkers at this point, producing Colossus, and that's about it. Producing these Colossus, no Templar coming out, but at this point, I think the game is pretty much sOs's. sOs's income is still, oh, okay, I guess it kind of evened out now that sOs forgot to get more expansions. I mean, he's got his 5th expansion up and running. He hasn't completely saturated yet, but come on, let's just look at the workers killed again. 58 drones were killed by sOs. That is nuts. That is absolutely staggering as a Zerg player. I mean, just come on, that's like almost all the workers that you should have made in a game just completely gone. So these Stalkers doing harassment in here, trying to take as many Swarm Hosts with them as possible. Going to be pulling back. sOs knows he's ahead in this game. He's doing the right, smart decision. He's going to be pulling back here, going to defend this 5th expansion. That's really all I need to do. If he gets this up and running, is to get these Archons, getting this army back to the former glory that he had it before, he's going to be able to push in. There's absolutely nothing Dongraegu can do. Dongraegu's army supply is completely, not completely, okay, not too much, but 20 army supply is pretty big, especially if you're talking about a Protoss army that has Colossus and Templar and Archons mixed in. This is just a scary force, and there's not really much Dongraegu has to do with it. There's not much on the ground. He's got these swarm hosts, but he does, SOS does have detection. He's going to be able to kill as many swarm hosts as possible. There's not really much of Dongraegu to deal with these expensive units in the back. These storms being dropped on top of the Corruptors and the Vipers. Feedback's going, and Dongraegu GG's out of it, not being able to push out against SOS's this dominating force of Colossus, Blinkstalkers, Archons, and Templars. And the first match of this best of 3 series between Dongraegu goes, and SOS goes to SOS, the Protoss opponent. Whew, okay, that was a long game. Okay, I gotta get my stamina up again. So like around the 15, I noticed while casting, around the 15-minute mark, my voice gets very dry. I need to remember to sit here with a glass of water every time I cast, so that my voice isn't completely dry and I sound like an old man who's been smoking for 30 years while I cast. Whoa, look at this. It's like a skeleton looking thing. Is that a Colossus body? Okay, that just paused on a very interesting point in that animation, death animation. Yeah, it looks like a dead woolly mammoth skeleton. Anyways, yes, I hope you enjoyed this cast. I hope you enjoyed the new microphone quality of my that I have of my Blue Snowball microphone. It is very nice. I like it. I hope you like it. And if you do like it, please subscribe. Stick around for more casts by me, yehdawg. There will be more content coming out. Funny content too. And also, I'm putting out a new series. I already have the 100 Days of StarCraft series that I have, StarCraft 2, sorry, series that I have right now, where I'll be casting games for 100 days straight. Weekends not included, because I need a break sometimes, guys, okay? I have passion, but not that much passion. And I'm also going to have a new series where I'm going to be going from Silver to Masters. So I was high plat when I was playing in Wings of Liberty, almost Diamond, and then I started playing for, again, after a 2-year hiatus, and this is with the new expansion of, not new expansion, this is the expansion of Heart of the Swarm, and man, do I suck. I dropped all the way to Silver, so I'm starting a new web series called The Road to Masters. I know there's already a tutorial series about getting to Masters, but I'm going to be doing a series just following me and my progress from going from a Silver player. That's really bad, man. It sucks. And also on the Korean server, I'm like Bronze, which is even worse. But just if you want to follow me and see my progress as a player and see how far I can go, follow that too. That's going to be coming in the near future. This is yehdawg, and I'll be coming with the next game tomorrow. So if you want to hear that, if you want to see more content, stick around. Peace!